This is what happens when you don't clean your bags off before storage. So look at this beautiful Tom Ford Natalia bag. Look at the tarnishing that has happened over the hardware. I've already cleaned this half off as well as this part. So look how beautiful it can be. It can be saved, but remember to clean it off. We don't want to have this happen. So all you need is a silver polishing cloth. You can get this at any jewelry store or even on Amazon, anything like that. You put your finger pad under in the back of it. Look how dirty this is already. And you just wipe.
Hey everyone, my name is Rosanna and I am addicted to luxury fashion and all shopping in general. You've just seen a restoration of a little bit of the hardware of the Tom Ford bag, and let me now tell you the very generous story of this beautiful clutch. So this originally did belong to my new sister-in-law, and she very generously gifted me this, and she's had this for about 6 to 7 years. So she did get it in 2008 or 9 or something like that. So it has been something she's had for a long time. It is a gorgeous, I believe it is called the Natalia bag. It is less common than other designer brands. Tom Ford, everyone knows this, but their luxury goods and shoes aren't actually as popular as, you know, the well-known Louis Vuitton, Chanel, etc. But I do have a few things from Tom Ford, and this is the only leather handbag I own from Tom Ford now. So there are some comments I want to share about this, as well as my sister's experience on this, and then we're going to go into what fits. So you have seen what happens when you don't store your bags correctly, what happens to the hardware. So I did spend a good half an hour just using the polishing cloth, as you saw in that earlier little clip, to try to restore some of this hardware. It is a lot better than what it started off with, but it is not perfect. And I mean, I'm gonna try and spend a little bit more time on this after, but I don't know honestly if it can ever be restored back to perfect without damaging the hardware any further. There are some chemicals you can use and solutions that can polish metal hardware, but this is not actual silver, so I don't want to rub it so harshly with chemicals so that the plating will show through. Generally, all the hardware such as this for handbags and accessories, they are made out of zinc alloy or brass, and then they're electroplated with some kind of coating. It's not a precious metal, so it usually would be like like some kind of silver electroplating or gold, and when it does wear off eventually over many years, you can see usually like a yellowish metal, which is the natural metal underneath. So when you use chemicals to clean hardware that are not a pure precious metal, the base metal will eventually show through, so I don't want to do that. Jewelry polishing cloths are generally very non-abrasive, and they're very gentle. Usually all the surface dirt and tarnishing can come off, so I always recommend to do this first. Why it happens in general is just because of storage, long-term storage without cleansing the hardware after. So I'm not saying you gotta bring your bag to a spa or everything every time you use it, but if you are, you know, if you've had a rough day with a big night out, you're drinking, or you know, you went boating, or you know, something that you're really harshly using your bags, when you go home, I do recommend you to just wipe it down with jewelry cloth. Could be overkill. You could use like a plain like cotton cloth or even the canvas of your bag, just like a quick wipe down. And even of the leather, I don't actually recommend you to put any spray or chemicals on it. Just a clean cotton cloth wipe down of the leather as well as the hardware. This showed through a lot just because that hardware detail is so big, but honestly it happens to everything. Especially you can see on the parts where there's like screws or attachments, that's where you could see the tarnishing a little bit more too. That's just a general thing. Every time before you store your bags, always try to stuff it as best you can. So just you know, put some kind of cotton inside here, some kind of like paper stuffing in here to keep the shape of the bag. And depending what kind of bag it is, try to make sure those chains don't overlap the bag. You don't want to have marks if your bag is a delicate leather like lambskin. And then a quick wipe down with a cotton cloth. Maybe if you know you're a little extra, use that jewelry cloth, just a little polishing, just so the oils of your hands, sunscreen, lotion, etc. don't get on the bag and just let it stain forever. And then put it away in your cotton canvas bag that your bag generally comes with. If it doesn't come with it, just use some other cotton canvas bag. It's totally cool. So right now they do still sell this bag at Tom Ford. They're usually retail for about 4,000 to 3,000 USD, depending on the size and the style of it. Honestly, I think it is a little bit of a crazy markup. Because Tom Ford isn't known for luxury designer bags, I honestly would not pay the price of $4,000 retail price, no way, for this. So I'm very, very happy I got gifted this beautiful clutch. So I would pay if I found this at the outlet. So I do have a couple of Tom Ford pieces, maybe I'll show later on, like Tom Ford boots, for example, and I did get them at the Tom Ford outlet. I bought those ones at the California outlet in I forget the name, but it's in California, close to Palm Springs. There's a beautiful outlet there. So I did get a couple of Tom Ford pieces there in the past for like a great 50% off deal. So if you can get Tom Ford luxury items on a discount, I definitely recommend that. And they do go on sale. So I don't recommend buying Tom Ford luxury goods personally at full price retail. Things that you should buy full price retail is like Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Hermes, Cartier, etc. But for brands that go on markdown, try to buy them when they have end of season sales, or go directly to the outlets where they have them. So California, the outlet by Palm Springs is one of my favorite outlets. I shop there constantly. Okay, so this bag again retails for 3,000 or 4,000, but I believe my sister bought this on a discount when it was like end of the season discount. So I believe she got it for like 2,000 USD. So still a great deal. The thing about this though, this is actual python skin, so like snake skin. And the thing about these scales is that you gotta be really careful of them. I don't believe I own any python. Over time, they do flake off. You can see there's one big flake here that's flaked off already. It's not completely off, but you see that it's lifted, as well as in the back here. You can see a couple of scales that have lifted. Honestly, this is unavoidable. It's just the nature of python. So python is definitely a more delicate bag. So if you're not used to this kind of leather, I would not get it. I don't actually recommend python. It is gorgeous, but it definitely needs a lot of care, and it's not a bag you can be rough with. And over these, I think 6 or 7 years that she's had this bag, she's used it, I think, twice. So at an event, like some kind of like evening event, she's worn it at, and like a dinner, and then it's been in storage ever since. I mean, she said it was a little bit harder to match with, but to be honest, I love silver. And even with this outfit right now, by the way, shout out to Hello Kitty, I love Hello Kitty girl, it goes really, really well. So I would actually just pair this with a neutral outfit, and I think that this bag goes well. It definitely is very evenly, but it is nice. Like Tom Ford is something that's very low key. If you did not know this was Tom Ford, you would have no idea this is even a designer luxury bag. You would just be like, oh, that's a beautiful color or hardware, unique hardware, but it doesn't scream at you Tom Ford. So that's, I think, one of the great things about Tom Ford and some other if you know brands is that it's definitely very low key and subtle. It doesn't scream Chanel at you, it doesn't scream luxury. It doesn't scream luxury at a big way, but I definitely think it is still a luxury bag. So if you look at it, you know that it's some kind of like nice Italian brand, but you have no idea what. Even though I think Tom Ford is from New York. But you get my point. It looks luxury, but you don't know exactly what it is. You can see here in the inside, so it says, oh, it is made in Italy, my bad. So it says Tom Ford made in Italy. And that's kind of interesting actually. The metal plaque, it's facing up, like it's facing this way. I noticed for like other brands, it's usually facing down, that logo. Just an interesting detail. But it does fit a lot more compared to the Chanel wallet on chain. So here are all the card slots. There are 1, 2, 3, 6 card slots in total, 3 on each side, a nice wide space in the back here, a generous compartment in the center, and then one nice zipper pocket in the front. This is like a favorite compartment of mine. If you're holding your phone, you suddenly want to be hands-free, you could just shove it in the back. You could literally put any size phone here, even if you had like the Pro or the Max, you could put it in the back. Favorite features about this bag is definitely the hardware. It's like, this is one of Tom Ford's signature hardware, even if you don't know it. And the nice thing is it is that metallic clasp. You can hear it. Yeah, you got it. This is an adjustable strap. The chains are not removable. They are thin enough, so if you really wanted to, you could place, again, the chain inside the bag, close it up, and use it as a nice clutch. And I think this would work better for evening looks. The chain does fit comfortably inside, so you could just carry it like this if you are having that evening look and you didn't want the chains, and I think that's actually ideal. I do like that they made the chains kind of extra thin, so you could do that really, really easily. You can kind of flip the chains, loop them in the inside one time, so you can have it as that shorter single strap kind of look. And the really nice thing is that the chain and the strap really is thin enough so that you could actually do this no problem. So this is the shortest setting already, and it does fit about 2 to 3 inches below my natural hip. I know my pants are real high right now, but it sits like kind of in the center of my butt here. It is kind of a long crossbody for me, but I am short, so every crossbody generally fits long for me. Don't really like crossbodies for that reason, so I normally probably would use this more as a clutch. And for that one shoulder strap, it would be too long, unless I did the thing where I crossed, again, the chains underneath the bag. And then if I use it like this, that would be more of a suitable length for me. So I crossed the chains within that bag, and now it fits me perfectly. So this is normally, I think, how I would use this more for evening or day looks, just crossing that chain underneath. And I think if you were to use this as an evening bag anyways, it doesn't look as good crossbody. I would either use this like this, a little bit of a shorter length here, or just hand hold it with that clutch look. So now I'm gonna show you what we can put inside and a little bit of mod shots, and then we're gonna end with just final thoughts.
Using this, you would just put all your cards in the back here. So I wouldn't actually bring my card holder. I'd rather put my makeup instead, because normally if I was using this kind of bag, it would be normally for our evening out. So let's just say you have a pack of tissues in here, a compact, your lipstick, eyeliner. It's not that much, but it is actually kind of wide. You can see the base, it actually does open up a little bit, but I don't want to stretch out the bag, you know, like I don't want to be overstuffing it so that it doesn't close comfortably. If you do want to use a card holder, which is what I do sometimes, you could put your card holder in instead, and then take out like your compact or something. So you could still like shove in like lipsticks, eyeliner, etc. But then I wouldn't want to shove too many things in, just so I don't want to stretch out the bag. But you can still fit in like all the essentials. You could definitely put your phone in here, your lipstick, like an eyeliner, like a pack of tissues, and that all fits fairly comfortably. You can see that there's actually a little bit more space here, but I personally don't like to overstuff my bag, so as long as it fits all my cards, I would put all my cards here, just because this is a wallet on chain, of course. You could put everything quite comfortably. Actually, let's just exchange that for a compact, which is what most people would bring anyways. So you could definitely still close that comfortably. You could maybe put a little bit more, but you can see that this bag is stuffed already, and I don't like to put too many things in, just so I don't overstuff or stretch out that bag. But you could definitely still fit, you know, your phone. I would say you could fit in your Max comfortably too, because mine is a little bit smaller. There is definitely still like an inch left of room here. So if you had that Pro or that Max, you could fit your phone inside this clutch too. That's everything that can fit inside.
These are my final thoughts about this bag. I'm so grateful to have this in my collection now, and I think the silver is gorgeous. I have one other silver bag that I honestly love with evening looks, but I also haven't pulled it out of my closet for a while. So it is definitely not like an everyday bag. You could make it an everyday bag. Like, I definitely think it does go with something neutral, but it is harder to style and it is a little bit more it's not hard to style in per se, but it stands out a lot more. So if you're trying to go for like that neutral look, this might be too much for your everyday. So more of an evening bag. Let's say that I wouldn't buy Tom Ford at full price. I really wouldn't. That's just my personal opinion. Don't kill me, but I wouldn't buy Tom Ford at full price. I think it's not worth it for their designer luxury goods. That's different for Tom Ford Beauty. I think that their lipsticks and everything can be worth the price, but for luxury goods, for their like shoes, handbags, etc., they're not known for that, and they do go on markdown. It is nice to have some if you know bags in your collection, but I wouldn't pay full price. You can definitely, I've said that like 15 times now, but I'm a big believer of things. If I can get it on discount, I will. So this kind of bag, I will. And storage, so important about storage. Clean it before you put it away. Please, everybody, please clean it before you put it away in storage, or your bag might get ruined over the years if you didn't catch it soon enough. And python skin is super delicate, so I think it's even more delicate than lamb skin. So if you wanted something that was more hard wearing, go for calf skin. Anything or embossed leather, like calf skin embossed leather, that goes for like Epson, for Hermes, Piano, for Prada, etc. Like these kind of hard, stiff leathers personally is not my favorite. I still have them, but they are the most hard wearing because they're like scratch resistant, pretty good with rain, they keep its shape and everything. Python is one of like a very, very delicate leather, even more delicate than lambskin. So if you don't want to baby your bags and you just want to use them, don't go for python. This is definitely like, if you've already bought all the basics in your collection, that's when you'll go for a bag like this. Overall, I'm super grateful to have this. Let me know your thoughts and if you would buy a Tom Ford luxury good and what would it be. Comment below and I'll see you again next time. Bye.